Hello, this is Sudesh, and today I'm going to talk about the three I's: the innovators, the imitators, and the idiots. How good ideas become bad and wrong. So, fasten your seatbelts. We're going to be moving at 120 kilometers per hour. So, are you ready? This is what you can expect from our time together. You by the end of this, you'll be able to tell the difference between an innovation and an imitation, and then you'll be able to flee from being an idiot. Yes, I said you'll be able to flee from being an idiot. Since time immemorial, from the Industrial Revolution to the internet bubble of the 1990s to the current knowledge revolution, history has always repeated itself when it comes to having economic meltdowns. I usually say innovation does not repeat itself, but surely imitation does, and idiocracy does, unfortunately. And so, when Robert Kiyosaki came out with his books about finance, there are times when he goes and detects when the bubble will be there and when economic meltdowns will be there, just because they've run tests on people, and people, they keep on doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So with through this time that you're going to have talking about the three I's, you realize, if you've been doing the same thing, expecting same thing over and over again, expecting different results, you'll be able to change. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Well, I've heard of that thing of innovators, imitators, and idiots. Yes, it's been done before, and I remember in 2008, when there was an economic meltdown that started in the US and spread all over the world. Charlie Rose called Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of those rich guys. He's a very wise guy, and he asked him, how come there's been an economic meltdown in the biggest nation on earth? Shouldn't the wise people have known better? And this is what Warren Buffett had to say. There's a natural progression to how new ideas go badly wrong. He called this progression the three I's. First comes the innovators, who see opportunities that others don't champion and then go ahead and create value. Then comes the imitators, who copy what innovators have done. And then comes the idiots, who are extremely greed, whose extreme greed for material gain undoes the very best innovations that they are trying to copy. As I've gone around, driving around our beautiful city here in Kampala or in your own city, I think you've seen brands that used to be that are no longer there. You've seen people that used to be the best consultants, the best at their craft, and they are not anymore. And the question is, what happened along the way? What happened along the way is that most innovators either just start imitating or they become idiots. So, without any further ado, let's go into the first category that I'll call idiots. And please, look through these, study these categories, take a pen and paper, and then ask yourself, what am I doing and where am I as regards to being an innovator, an imitator, and an idiot? Okay, back to the idiots. Who are the idiots? Idiots are very quick to jump on get-rich schemes, Ponzi schemes. Anything that tells them you're going to be quickly rich, they will jump on that. And when you have such greed in the market, you spoiled everything. And also, idiots are very greedy. They devalue themselves to get rich. They will undercut you just at the cost of taking you out of business. And then they cannot stand seeing others get rich. They are jealous. Okay, a company can, even companies can be jealous, and they do things out of the way. They spend money they shouldn't have spent just because they are jealous of another brand. And then what idiots do is that they are obsessed with comparison. I like what the Bible says, that comparing yourselves one to another is not wise. It's stupid, it's foolish. So please, are you quick to jump on get rich schemes? Are you greedy? You stop at nothing to get rich. You devalue everyone else. You devalue all other companies. Do you feel jealous when you see others get rich? Are you obsessed with comparison? If you do all these things, you're an idiot, my friend, and you need to change. But there is hope, and stick around, and when we talk about the imitators and the innovators, you see how you can make the progression. Okay, now let's talk about the imitators. The classic about imitators is from a book that I like. It's called the Toyota Kata, and the whole thesis of this book is, this guy says, so many people went to Toyota because they wanted to know how Toyota does it, and they looked at the practices of Toyota, they looked at the processes, the work in progress sheets. They looked through everything, the parts move from here to there to there to there. They went, tried to replicate the same thing, and they were not as good as Toyota. And in the book, the gentleman goes ahead to say that, what they forgot is that Toyota is not what it is because of its practices and its processes. No, its processes and its practices are informed by the management thinking that they call the Toyota Kata. So, in short, people and corporations were trying to copy something. They were trying to imitate something that cannot be easily imitated, and that's the problem with the imitators. Their first characteristic is that they'll copy the practice, and they will go ahead and do it. But when you really sieve it, there's no substance under there. There's no purpose. You ask them, why are you in business, and they'll tell you, yeah, I'm here to just make some money and then go out. You tell them, why do you have that job, and they'll tell you, I'm here to just make some little money and go out. They're not big on purpose. They're like shells, if you want to say that. And the other thing about imitators is they lack, they often they can improve something that the innovators have done, but in most cases they tarnish it. Now, a quick application of this is, you have people in the, let me just put it this way: you have people in the workplace that are really imitators, not because they should be imitators, but because they've been trained to be imitators, because the school system told them that. They told them, put up your hand, and then you talk, and 1 + 1 is 2, and 3 + 3 is 6, and then you just have a system that trains people how to imitate, and to the extent that you can imitate, you're judged as smart or wise. But hey, look, that is all wrong. I believe the mere fact, I remember one time I was moving around the place that I stay, and you see when one person starts to put their salon, then the next time you come around in 3 months, you discover that there are other 4 salons. A classic one is recently, they're about in a range of about 100 meters from where I stay. There are 2 butcheries, and one really competes on price, and another one competes on variety. The one that competes on price is always, I think they get, I don't know where they get their meat, but they're always making those slashes, and then the other guy has lots of meats, chicken and this and that and that, and this guy has a less variety. And there's a new butchery that opened up, and it's branded very nicely, but it has no competitive edge. This guy is just imitating for the sake, and then he just sits around and waits for people to come there. So I of course, I know that sometimes in at one point or another, you get to imitate, and people imitate for different reasons. Let's say they lack resources for research and development, or their capacity to take on risk is low. But when you stay an imitator, you won't really provide the value, and you can't just have happiness in the market, because you're not a cheap copy of everyone. You're an original, and inside us we'd have that desire, that need. Tony Robbins calls them the 6 basic needs, and one of them is significance. We have that need to be different, to be significant, which leads me to the third category, which is the innovators. Who are the innovators? The innovators, number one, to know that you're an innovator, you have to answer these questions. Number one, are you obsessed with value addition? Innovators do not necessarily come up with something new, totally new, but they improve the existing processes, the existing practices, the products. They improve all these things. So, are you obsessed about having value? Then you are an innovator. And then, are you big on purpose? People talk about, I do this and this is how I do it. Why do you do it? What is your purpose? Because you have some tough days, and those tough days you'll need your purpose to be before you, and you better know why you're doing that something, or else you'll quit. And that's what innovators are big on, and that's why they stick with what they stick with, and ultimately make a big deal out of it. Steve Jobs failed so much. What people don't know about Apple is that Apple at some point lost over 200 million US dollars, because they worked on something that they worked on. I think the first version of a MacBook that wasn't really good, so they had to dump it, period. And they lost all this, but you know what, they remained with their purpose. They are thinking different, they have a purpose, and that purpose informs what they go after. So they will come into a sector and say, how can we make people think different about the way they are buying music? Well, everyone has been buying an album. Can we create a way for them to just buy a song, and then they will create the iTunes, and then they say, okay, can we give them a device where they can listen to these songs? And they create for you the iPod, and they say, well, look, an average TV has a remote that has 50 buttons, and people use only about 5 buttons. Why can't we create a TV that makes people think different? You see that their innovation is based on purpose and creating value for their customers. Which brings me to the third question that innovators must answer is, are you in a place where you attract loyalty? I tell you what, innovators attract loyalty because they're not so obsessed about going after the entire market. They are obsessed about creating loyalty, getting solutions for a particular group of people that understand them and relate to them in a way that is anticipated and personal. And then the other question that innovators answer is, am I secure but not stupid? And I love this because, they are secure because they are competing really with no one. They are competing with themselves. But at the same time, they are not stupid. They will look over their shoulder a little bit here and there just to course correct. But they have security. Again, I'll refer to Apple. There's a cross-section of the employees, and you worry that everyone is looking at you and trying to benchmark what you do. And I say, no way, we are not worried about that. We are secure in who we are, in our purpose, and we continuously improve on that. Of course, we look out what other people are doing, but we are not obsessed with that. Okay? So, We've covered the three I's, the idiots, the imitators, and the innovators. Take some time and ask yourself, where am I? When it comes to my job, do I just go to a job and I'm just playing sabotage, I'm just being an idiot, or I'm just imitating, I'm not really living my full potential, so I have that frustrated potential? Or am I an innovator? I bring new ideas on board, I add value, I'm here because I have a purpose. I'm secure, and because I'm secure, I don't have to be right all the time. I can let others be right, and then they lead the way. Or if you're in a business, ask yourself the same questions, and at the end of the day, really, economic meltdowns happen because we have more idiots and imitators in the market than innovators. Be an innovator and change the landscape of business, change the landscape in jobs, and change the landscape in everything that you do. Thank you so much. My name is Sudesh. Adios, muchachos.